Good. Can you throw the chat up there when you get a chance? Nice. All right, I'm good to start. Hey, guys. Are we live right now? Well, we're live for everyone. Usually it's Patrons only, but patreon.com is down right now. So enjoy the special treat for everyone. Trav, you recording? You got clap in?
I'm ready.
You're good to go directly in, Trev.
1, 2, 3.
I love when they say that.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. We had some more wild games. 2 teams. No, I don't know, but let's figure it out as we go. Let's Talkin' Baseball. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. My name's Jimmy. Sitting next to me is Jake. We got Trevor in California. We got producer BBD behind the dish. We're coming to you live from the Roosevelt Studios in the Bronx. That's roosevelts.com/JOMBOY. Get you 20% off. 3 teams moved on. I was trying to do the math. I think 3 teams have moved on to the next round. We will be recapping each game. Thank you very much for joining us. The newest Patreons that are bringing you this show. Let me shout them out. They are, I had it up. Luke Bruck, Noah Hoffman, Polish name, Van Pierzalowski, Jordan Rabet, Tucker Menzies, Martin Fadun, Stephen Mayer, Sam Nupp, Joseph Shanina, Andy Cobb, Derek Riddell, Justin Bowen, Ivy Lopez, Patrick Fisher, Steve, Ryan Grant, Chris Douglas, Eric Carey, Jess Hastings. It's your boy, Matt Craig. Thank you guys very much. Those are our most recent Patreons. Usually, Patreons are the only people allowed to watch the live stream. The chat's very civil. It's an awesome community. People hang out with us. They give us some tidbits and some help. Patreon is down right now, so we're live for everyone. Jake, how are you doing?
Good morning, James. Good morning, Trevor. I'm good. Baseball still so hot in the streets. Felt like we might have the first real game of note last night. The Padres down 6-2. The magical season felt like it was winding down, and then they dug deep into the bag of tricks that's worked for them all year. Tatis, Machado, and Myers. Don't forget about that bad man. So that was awesome. My A's, I had some faith in them. It worked out. We're going to talk about that game a lot. And, Reds. So baseball's still hot in the streets. Speaking of hot in the streets, Elm Street, Sesame Street, Trevor Plouffe.
Ex-prostitute, Trevor Plouffe.
Wow, that's quite the intro.
Yeah.
Quite the intro. I agree with you. Baseball's hot. Yesterday was really fun.
Yeah.
But on a personal note, I want to say that on the day that the president said he got COVID, I got a COVID test and I'm negative.
Oh, okay. Congrats, dude.
Turns out my headaches were just, I'm still hungover from going to Napa.
Just too much baseball. Just too much baseball.
Wine, so. Yeah.
Trev, I'm going to issue an apology to you. You said yesterday on the show that the Yankees should feel lucky that they won a little bit or they got away with something, and I couldn't process it because my bias was so heavy. And then I read a review somewhere about how that chopper that Glaber hit over Brand's head should have been an inning-ending double play to end the game. I said this on the live stream. The moment Glaber hit that ball and it took the bounce, I knew that, I don't know, I'm not saying I just never was worried. So inning-ending, season-ending double play or game-ending was never in my head. I see how it's in the heads of definitely Indians fans and third-party fans. So my bias clouded that. Yes. I realized that the other day when I read it, I was like, oh my God, that would have ended the game.
It's a yes and a no.
I said on the live stream, I never thought that was even going to be one out. I don't know why.
It was a chopper that landed on the backside of the pitcher's mound. So, if Brad Hand made an incredible play, I think you get an out.
But that's what Indians fans thought.
Right. And I don't know. I thought you were going to tie the whole luck thing into kind of the Cardinals, Padres, and the White Sox A's because I don't know. I think both of those teams got punched in the mouth. And where we got lucky was not having to do Yankee stuff last night because I think Trevor would be talking to
That's what I was talking about.
We'd be talking about 3 corpses right now.
Well,
Brad Hand should have shut that game down.
I didn't get any sleep.
I have to kick my children out of my office real quick.
That's fine. I saw them pop by.
Here. It's really funny. But that was what I was referencing. I mean, you have Brad Hand coming in to shut the game down, a couple CNI singles, the black void that was the middle of the field, dude.
I had a big, the guy from The Wire gif where he goes, oh, when I read an Indians fan say, we had the inning double play. It never crossed my mind.
I don't know if you're going to turn double play on that.
Ball.
I don't think so, but I'm seeing how other
it changes
I'm seeing how other
get
brains
that
saw that play.
Because I
saw it as 0 outs. They saw it as 2. Third-party fans saw it as 1. Yeah. So anyway.
It should have been 1 out. It should have been 1 out. Exactly.
Yeah. All right, let's go. We got some games to talk about
Yankees
today.
All over them.
That was more of an apology to Trev. I scoffed at the notion yesterday, and I was wrong. Braves and Reds, game 1. How we've been doing these is BBD puts 10 minutes on the clock. We've actually been really good and tidy. We'll give our thoughts. If we go under, minutes roll over to the next game, and then they roll over. So 40 minutes, let's do it. Jake, the Braves and the Reds square off. The Reds are a fucking nightmare in the box.
Big time.
22 innings of baseball, 0 runs scored. Ian Anderson looks really good. Ian Anderson looked good.
Yeah, man. He's looked good all year. And we, I don't know, I think when Ian Anderson made his debut, you Googled up a couple scouting reports and they didn't get you too excited and were like, all right, Ian Anderson, rookie, let's see it.
Well, I wasn't making an opinion.
Right. You were reading them and you were appreciating them for what they were and using them. Ian Anderson has come up and dropped dick all year, and we kind of haven't included him in the crop of young pitchers. But, man, I mean, does this not bring him to it? I mean, we've said Max Fried and the Braves all year. Ian Anderson's season stats, he had a 1.95 ERA in 32.1 innings. Of course, that's a small sample size, but that's all we got this year. He comes out, he shuts out the Reds, and let's be honest, this Reds team ends up, with a quote-unquote historically bad playoff series. 2 games, they get no hits. One was almost a game and a half. They get hits. They get no runs. And yeah, when you come out with the nightmare quote, it looks like a disaster. And Braves, I think this is win-win. All of your bullpen arms look great. Your 1 and 2 starters look great. And hey, their bats got silenced too for about 19 innings. They only scored 1 run in the first game. They had 1 run going into the bottom of the 8th, and then they turn it on, and it's the guys that you want to turn it on. Acuna, Duvall gets 1. Ozuna takes the selfie homer. Braves, you've got to be feeling like 10 out of 10 right now, and Reds are feeling 1 out of 10 right now.
I think we had this series pegged perfectly. We said, look, the Reds get in, they're a problem because of their starting pitching. Their starting pitching shoved. If they had a little bit of offensive help, like literally any offensive help at all, we're probably talking a game 3 today at minimum. We might be talking Red sweep. Their offense was dead.
Braves had 2 hits.
So bad. So bad. And, like you said, the Braves, everything worked out perfectly from them. And you go from Max Fried shoving, and you have to do that whole long game. But then this one worked out like couldn't draw it up any better. Your starter goes 6, Will Smith, Melanson, and who's the other guy that came in?
Will Smith, Melanson, Martin.
And Chris Martin. I mean, they went out and got
play.
Will Smith to be in these positions, and Melanson, and that's finally coming to fruition in the playoffs. I mean, it's a great, great victory for the Braves. And like you said, it sets them up perfectly for the NLDS.
Who are the options for the Braves?
So, and that's where things get really exciting. I mean, they're looking at the Marlins-Cubs winner. So we'll see if you and the boys can bounce back. I think it was lining up to be Cubs Braves. Everyone got pretty excited about the Nightmare Reds, who, oh yeah, Nightmare was right. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. If Darvish can punch back today, I think the Cubs are back in the driver's seat. You'd be at Wrigley. But, I mean, if the Braves end up getting the fish, this Braves team could end up getting a lot of momentum going. So they
need the momentum because they had 2 hits. They had 2 hits and they had 1 run the game before. They do put up 5, which is nice, but the 2 hits.
Oh, they had 9 hits yesterday. You're looking at the
9 hits, yeah.
The Reds had 2 hits, 9 hits.
And
the Reds had out hit them.
But the Braves didn't. I mean, they got all that in like the 8th inning.
The 8th inning, yeah.
Right, but it's the last taste in your mouth. I mean, you get it off Iglesias. It's the last inning. Like, you went from going into the next series, 4 days of sports radio and hot guys on a podcast talking about, you got to be worried about that lineup. And it's like, hey, you know what? They just slammed. So if Braves, almost a perfect series for them.
I'm being rude. I don't like this section of the NL bracket.
Right. It doesn't feel right.
No.
I mean, why not?
Well, because I didn't watch a lot of this game. I was apartment hunting. I saw the beginning and the end. The Reds bats. I know A-Rod sucks.
Oh, my God.
And a lot of what he said sucks, and he called home runs empty calories, and I don't agree with that. But he's getting on a lot of these teams for not having an approach. The Reds had no approach. Like, I watched a lot of the at-bats in Game 1. Ian Anderson looked great. Like, his stuff looked good, but, like, they didn't try. The Reds had no approach. Like, I thought they looked anemic. Like, it was, like, weird. It was.
They haven't all year.
They don't have that lineup that does the approach thing. Like, they're not.
Yeah, and then the Braves didn't, like, wildly impress me in these 2 games. And then you got Cubs, Marlins, and we'll see what happens there. But, I mean, in the other division, you have the Dodgers, the Padres, the Cardinals. I like that little area better. Whatever. I don't know why.
I got to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know if my expectations were just really low because I haven't watched a lot of Braves baseball this year. And when I did, I wasn't that impressed. But watching these games and the way they won these games, I came away impressed with the team.
I like Ian Anderson, and I like that they're like just like with the Padres, like their swagger came back. The selfies, fucking around in the dugout, and all that, and it does carry over. So I like that.
And Trev, I think part of what you're saying is it felt like a good brand of baseball. Like Austin Riley at third base, he's the young guy. That's supposed to be known for his bat. He made some nice plays. That was a big thing for me coming into this year, going from Donaldson to Young Thick or whoever was going to win the job, Camargo. He was strong defensively there the other day. Dansby, he was in the leadoff spot for them a lot this year while ALDS and Acuna was out. He slides down in the lineup. He's giving at-bats down there. And then you got, some kind of Trevor Plouffe daddies, Markakis, Duvall, doing it in the second half of that lineup, and then the top half is disgusting. So, Braves.
Yeah, they look good. This is kind of an overall theme here for the playoffs. A lot of weird 4-hole hitters in these lineups. We had Vogelbach, then we had Ryan Healy. That was in a different game, but this game, even now, Travis d'Arnaud, look, I know he had a good year.
Hot. Yeah, he's been
I know
hot.
He's had a good year, but don't tell me that guy's a 4-hole hitter. But here we are.
Yeah,
he's hitting 4-hole with the Braves in the postseason. It's interesting to me. Just typically you're looking for big boys, but the game done changed with these balls. Everybody's a big boy.
I mean, who could just switch with him? Duvall?
Well, I think the lineup composition right now is interesting. Albies batted 5th yesterday. I think back in the day it would be, Albies, Acuna, Freeman, Ozuna, but that all-important 2 spot in the lineup
the 2
now
spot
is
has
Freeman.
changed everything.
Dude, I love it, man. You open up a game with Acuna and Freddie Freeman.
I know.
That.
It's just not what we're used to. I mean, you like you said, leadoff hitter, 2, and then 2-0 hitters got to be able to hit the ball on the ground to the right side. That doesn't happen anymore. Yeah. That is out of the window. That's not how baseball's played. So the 2-0 hitters totally changed, dude. I used to love hitting in the 2-hole. Used to love it.
Me too, Trev.
But
not really a knock on d'Arnaud though. If anyone interpreted that way, I mean,
it's not a knock on him.
He banged all season.
Had a great year.
And
I'm
he's
just saying,
it's just different when you see it.
it's just, yeah, when you look at, I mean, the lineup construction in all of baseball has completely changed over the last 3-4
The
years.
Yankees don't care about the 3-hole.
You want to get, I mean, the theory is you want to get your guys up there as much as possible.
Yeah.
You know? So
I
the
just
whole brand of,
I always wanted to lead off hitter, you know, go see some pitches. Let me see if I can pick anything up, and then I'm coming up 2-hole.
that doesn't happen anymore. Now it's like, hey, bro, you're a leadoff hitter. Guess what that guy's throwing first pitch? Like, go whack it.
Well,
Go whack it.
Good job, Braves. Sorry, Reds fans.
speaking of leadoff hitters that hit, in Game 2, Tim Anderson had 3 hits. But the White Sox lose. This game was ugly, Jake. It was ugly early. The White Sox, Renteria, whoever's in charge of their decisions, full-blown panic.
Yeah.
Just because it's a game, it's an elimination game, and you have the kitchen sink, doesn't mean you throw it at people in the first inning. I can't believe what the White Sox did. I know Frank Thomas, I know Ozzie Guillen, I know a lot of people in the White Sox world were like, what the fuck? Injuries plagued them, and they left 9 guys on base.
Yeah.
Eloy gets hurt. Crochet, is that how you say it? Crochet gets hurt. He was clearly the plan for 2 innings. Injuries plagued them. But they used 9 pitchers in the first 4 innings. I had to write it down. They used 9 pitchers in the first 4 innings, I believe. Do I have it wrong, Jake?
2, 3, 4.2. I think
It's
that's
Crochet.
a little off, but
I kind of liked what they did with
Dunning, Crochet, Bummer.
they used 9 pitchers the whole game.
Oh, Dunning. Okay, so maybe it was Dunning, Crochet, Bummer, Cody, Rodon, Foster. They used 6 in the first 4 innings.
Yeah.
They didn't give a pitcher a clean inning. On the other hand, Bob Melvin, out of the 9 innings, 7 of them were 1 pitcher. This is your inning. You start it, you end it. And that's if you're going to bullpen, that's a better plan. Renteria got Crochet up after the first batter. I mean,
plan for that. They had a plan, dude. And
that
guy
plan is we don't think we can hit.
I think it's you don't want to get
1 batter
behind.
I know, but 1 batter. That's crazy.
I think the thing for me is they used Cease yesterday in kind of what turns out to be almost a meaningless inning. And I don't know, if you're going to go with this approach, almost don't start Dunning. Start a reliever.
Start Crochet if you're going to get him up after 1 batter.
And again, there's a lot of second guessing here, and the White Sox could have easily won this game. I mean, this game was nuts through 5, and then both offenses stopped. There was a lot of actions on the bases, a couple line drives hit right at people. This game was a shit show. No way anyone could have known that unless you watched the pregame show where Lil Poppy told you that. But yeah, I mean, Frankie Montas comes in, he gives 2 innings, and he's looking more like Frankie Montas. But yeah, I mean, they go shutty the rest of the way. And Liam Hendricks, man, I was ready to jump all over Bob Melvin. But it's knowing your guys and knowing that crazy Aussie at the back of your bullpen, because he was sitting in the stands, which again everyone was, but he didn't have the jersey on. I think in the 7th inning, and I was like, "Is Liam out of this game?" Because if I was an Oakland fan, I'd be about to throw up on myself. No, he comes in, 3 strikeouts in the 9th. I mean, just absolutely dropped it, hit triple digits after throwing 49 bullets the night before. So kudos to them for knowing your guys. And, I mean, this White Sox team looked like kind of a young team on the road in the playoffs, at least pitching-wise.
They used their closer in the 4th inning with 1 out to get 2 outs. 2 outs, 4th inning, they brought in their closer. Very weird. And then he can't even record an out. They have him intentionally walk Pinder to bring in Foster. They're up by 1 now, right? Foster comes in after the intentional walk, and he throws it 8 non-competitive. I don't think he induced I don't think he induced a swing. So I mean that's not Renteria's fault, but he didn't put any of his pitchers in a position to succeed. They didn't succeed, and that's their fault, but I thought the management was sloppy as you can get. Where Melvin did a good job. And he was down. Yeah, and he still had more
Shouldn't surprise
patience.
you.
I know, but he still had more patience than the manager who was up.
Bomel is. That's what he is. Like, he's calculated. He knows what he's doing. They have a plan. Renteria didn't seem like. I mean, maybe he did have a plan, and maybe the injury to Crochet just was like,
yeah.
That's the wrench in the plan.
Getting him up after 5 pitches was also the plan before the injury, and that was still like, what?
And hey, this plan was still really close to working. Like, I know it didn't look pretty and it didn't work, so we're here. But they were one swing away a couple times with a couple of their big sticks that, they could have pressed all the right buttons. But
you want to know what really lost the game? This is the truth.
Yes.
3 for 14.
This is the truth.
3 for 14.
No,
Runners scoring position.
yeah, you can talk about that, but you still put up and up fronts. It's the 9 walks the White Sox pitchers issued. You can't do that, dude.
Yeah.
You can't just put people on base every single inning. Foster came in, couldn't find the zone at all. The only person that he did get to swing at his pitches was Chris Davis, because Chris Davis degaff about you walking people. You hit a sac fly, whatever. But you look at the A's.
He also popped
people
out Foster with bases loaded. Dude threw 9 balls in a row, and Chris Davis swung at a 1-0 fastball and popped out. If I was an A's fan and that cost me the game, I'd be pretty like.
Well, that was a sac fly though. That was what I was talking about.
I thought that ended the inning.
No. Oh wait, it was 2 outs there. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Matt Olson walked right before Chris Davis.
Yeah.
And then Chris Davis. I thought it was a sac
Foster
fly.
had thrown he threw like 11 pitches, 9 of them were balls, or 12 and 10.
I don't even care, to be honest with you, dude. Like, Chris Davis, go and do what you do.
If he homers there, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
it's result driven, but
yeah, 9 walks, never gonna work. It's not gonna work. Got to throw strikes.
God, some big at bats for Abreu. He has the double play late. Robert hits a bomb. I think it was the second furthest home run recorded this season, 487. Mazzara does it from the bottom of the lineup. People have kind of slept on his career a little bit. He was hot in the streets. He hasn't been hot in the streets. I wonder if this can spark his career a little bit. He's still 25 years old. But the middle of that lineup, Grandal, Abreu, Big Eloy dealing with some stuff, and Moncada. I mean, they were a couple swings away. There was guys on base almost every inning. So, I don't know. Tough. Everyone was giving the White Sox the nice pump-up speech. We'll see these guys again. Get ready. Yeah, you will, and I think it will feel a little different because I don't think you want Dane Dunning going for .2 in a deciding game.
Yeah.
That's tough. 12 left on base. Tim Anderson, I think it was like the first player in MLB history to have 9 hits in his first 3 playoff games.
yeah, and if you're a White Sox fan, who covers them for Sports Illustrated? Janice Scurio. I like her feed a lot, and she said there's no way this team was going to advance in the ALDS, and she loves the White Sox and cheers for them. But they got injuries. They had a lot of relievers go. I think you chalk this season up as like we're one of the big boys now. Down the stretch, that sucked that they had such a downfall. And then, they had McCann might be gone, but Giolito's the real deal. You got a lot of good going for him. I don't think it was World Series or bust for the White Sox.
Let's just shine a little bit of light on the actual heroes. We haven't even talked about them. Chad Pinder, Sean Murphy coming through. Chad Pinder, who is one of my favorite teammates ever. A couple of notes about him. He had a baby in August.
Congrats,
but he's got a quarantine. Hasn't been with his baby at all.
Oh.
I mean, this is real life stuff these guys are going through. Comes up with a big hit. I actually texted him after the game. We were talking last night, and he's the guy you want to root for. He's kind of always in the shadow. He's a utility player on that team. He's like, that's Bomel's piece, man. Him and Mark Canha, Bomel loves these guys. And for him to come up big, Sean Murphy with the big home run to get them back in the game. I mean, these guys, they're showing up when it counts. And that's kind of like I've said this before. I think I said this yesterday. It's my favorite part of the postseason is these guys doing something and really helping their team. I mean, if they don't, they won the game for the A's last night.
Yeah, I believe.
When Matt Olson has been struggling.
Pinder came in and went 2 for 2. With the big RBI, because he came in, or he pinched it earlier in the game, got a hit then, and then came through. We got requests from the chat, Pinder on sequence. Do it, Trev.
He would love to. I'm gonna give him. Let him run his.
Let him breathe a
playoffs,
little. Okay. All right.
and then maybe see his baby.
Okay.
And then I'll
Fair.
have him
It's
on.
fair. We good to move on from this one?
I think so. I said it before. The longer a playoff series gets, the more I like Oakland. They survive this. They get the monkey off their back a little bit. They've had a playoff history that they hadn't won a series in a long time.
Braves
so
and Oakland.
they get it going, and they get
They're complaining
Houston.
about these 12 o'clock starts. Stop complaining, A's. Stop.
Can you do that thing with your shoulders and your hand again?
There's a guy that does like Bay Area sports radio, and he made a video, and he was like, "Guys, you haven't left California since September 17th.
Yeah.
You're the
Just
you're
like
the
go play the
2
games.
seed. You know who's been playing before you? The Braves. You know what they were? 2 seed. They haven't said shit.
Yeah.
It's a little later.
Yeah. And it's not
2
like you're
o'clock, but-
going, like you're on the West Coast, so you're ready for the 6 a.m. tests. You know, the
Yeah.
White Sox are coming, and that's 4 a.m. for them. So,
Yeah.
whatever.
9 straight losses in do or die games for Oakland.
The next
Yeah,
game on the docket is a doozy.
Yeah.
And if anyone's wondering about our picks, we all got the over correct in Chicago versus Oakland. Good job by us. Jake was the only one that had Oakland winning. Good job by you. Jake was the only one that had Cincinnati winning. Trev and I had Atlanta. Jake and I had the under. Trev had the over. So,
Bang.
bang. Where was
Faded
I?
myself in the Reds game. Done fading. You were mad at yourself for
Mad-
fading. I faded myself yesterday. So
Freaking
dumb.
Reds can't put up any runs.
So dumb.
Nightmare. All right. Padres and Cardinals. This game was probably it's this game and then the Yankees-Indians. But this game, the elimination team won, so I think it's a little more fun that way. But what a game. I mean, Padres find their swagger. Like, Happy learned how to putt. Padres learned how to be fun again. Cardinals had them 4-0 after 2. Padres chip away. It's 4-2. Cardinals say, nah. They bring it. It's 6-2. They got a 4-run lead again. Padres score 4 in the 6th to tie it. And from there on out, it was a shit show. Just runs every inning, basically. Every half inning.
And these were pimp job homers.
I'll tell you something. I was in bed. Katie was sleeping in the bed next to me. The lights were off. I was watching on my phone because I didn't think it was going to get exciting. I also went full gummy because we recorded 10 hours straight. So then all the fun started happening. So I'm under covers in bed with my dog and my fiance sleeping next to me in dark room, high as fuck, trying to like tweet out. Like if I start tweeting at night and there's no captions and it's just the GIF, it's because I'm brain dead and can't talk. and then
Welcome to my life.
it got so interesting. I got up, I went to the couch. I had to plug in my computer because it was dying. So that's what this game made me do. It was wild. Tatis 2 home runs. Myers 2 home runs. Tatis with the big bat flip. And then I forgot how much Cardinals fans are because Tatis does that bat flip and my mention just got lit up with like, fuck him. I hope he knows he's getting a ball at his head. He can't do that. Not to this team. I was like, oh, I forgot this is that fan base.
Trev, tough act to follow.
Yeah, Jim. I mean, I wasn't exactly full gummy last night. I was like, I was like at a quarter gum.
I was
But this
full.
game, I didn't take any gummies. But this game, same thing. I thought it was boring. I was like, man, the Cardinals that's kind of what they do in the playoffs. Like they just kind of lull
like
you to
Padres
sleep and
gonna-
they just move on.
Padres
going
going
to
to get their Reds on.
And then Tatis, man, comes up. He says he was looking for a fastball and just reacts to the hanging slider, which is, I mean, he reacted to it. That's one way to put it.
Yeah.
Put in the seats, walk down the first base. And this is the Padres at their best. Like maybe don't give up 9 runs, but like hit them homers like that, put up 11 runs, you can go far. But yeah, like you said, Myers coming through, Tatis coming through twice, Machado. I mean, this is the team that we fell in love with, and it was on display last night in the playoffs. Now they got Jack Flaherty.
I'm so torn. I will do it on the pregame show. I'll go in game 3. Jake, what do you got on this one?
this just felt impactful. Like the other stuff that's going on, I don't know. White Sox, A's, yeah, A's, you advance, you get the monkey off the back. Like, I don't know. I'm not getting World Series vibes there. It's like, is San Diego fully woken up? Tatis hits the homer. They're down 6-2, and you're like, okay, Nando. And then Machado does it, and you're like, all right, so it's on. And, hey, Will Myers doesn't get the love, maybe not as sexy as Nando, maybe not as sexy as Machado. At one time, Will Myers was as sexy as those guys, and he's figured it out. He hits 2 as well. And, yeah, if you're St. Louis, you got Jack in the hole. It's so hard to not think about that game coming up. That Cardinals bullpen that I gave a lot of love to, the 6 final relievers gave up a run. The 5, Genesis Cabrera, I love him, man. He's disgusting. He can be the next Hater. And that was probably the controversial decision. He lost it, and then he found it. He had a nasty strikeout. They pull him before Tatis. Gallegos gives it up, who's also been disgusting for St. Louis. Waino was battling. He didn't have his A stuff. But, yeah, I mean, the Cardinals are up 6-2 in the 6th inning. And you're just like, okay, St. Louis, they uglied it up. Are they going to have Flaherty for game 1 of whoever they play? Nope. The Padres fight back. And, yeah, I mean, this Padres team versus your guy, Trev. Again, we can't talk about it. Let's not talk about it. But if we were going to mention something about it really quickly.
No, I want to talk about this game. What about, Tatis throwing that ball away and giving the 2 runs? If that's because they survived it. It's not a big topic, but he went sad boy on us after the swagger. Reminded me of Glaber a little bit. I mean, the Cardinals they score those 2 runs, but they use 2 outs to do it. But they got handed a gift there. I believe it was it second and third 1 out or second and third no outs?
Tommy Pham dropped a fly ball.
Tommy Pham dropped a fly ball.
They go double sack fly, which, hey, if you swap one of those out for a double, who knows how the story of that game.
Grisham drops a fly ball. So the Padres had some things that if they lost to, I think they'd be like, our defense really fucked us, or just gave extra pitches, more wasted bullets. So I take a note of that going forward to next game, I guess. Like, that needs to be tightened up. They won, so no one's going to talk about it, but there's like 3 really dumb errors.
You know how I feel about starting pitching in the postseason, and like when I'm looking at the box score here and just seeing how many people pitch, that's not the recipe for success in the postseason.
Jack needs to go deep.
Jack has to do it. And so, little tidbit before we move on about Jack.
Teaser tidbit.
Somebody was talking, they interviewed Wainwright, I think. They were talking about how he gets all his guys together, and they said this is the first time that...
Just light.
Me and Bubak are not on good terms, bro. Not. Anyways, apparently this was the first time, like, all season, or at least since they had the Cardinals outbreak of 2020, that they've all been at the game together, like pitchers and stuff. Usually, like, they sit together and they talk about stuff, but like when you're starting pitching, they said they were at home for most of the season. Like, they weren't at the yard. So Jack was there last night watching the Slam Diego Padres do their thing. What does that do mentally to him? I know him, and I think he doesn't give a shit. He's just going to go do his thing. But you're watching them do it. I just feel like that's got to do something to you.
Yeah, I think so. Get you a little, I don't know, should get you fired up. I mean, it's exciting. I mean, I didn't think that Tatis was really that, like, disrespectful. He looked at his teammates and...
Oh, I'm not talking about, like, him being mad they were pimping it.
But Jack...
I'm just saying...
Oh, okay.
Cardinals
don't like that
these
stuff.
Guys hit homers after homer.
There's some Cardinals fans that don't like that stuff. And I think every fan base would have some fans that don't like it, but I think the Cardinals have a few more.
Don't you remember when Yadier Molina threw the bat into right field last year in the playoffs?
Yeah.
And he did something to Ronald Acuna Jr.? Like, come on, Cardinals fans. Don't have that kind of memory. That's selective memory.
Just final going away. I mean, he ended up giving a home run to Goldschmidt, which you boys will hear about later. Can we talk about Trevor Rosenthal throwing 102? What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Just in the bag now?
I don't know. I always just think glitch when I see that. Like DeGrom hit 102, but it didn't look 102 to me, and I was like, glitch. What?
Glitch.
Everybody's hitting 100 nowadays, bro. I think there's a little bit of
pretty easy when they just change
turn the dial,
guns.
turn the dial up on the radar gun. Everybody knows that, by the way.
Well, the in-house radar gun. I don't know if people have done studies that like the in-house radar gun is always a little more juiced for that starting pitcher.
Just like the height and the weight. You're just always a little bit bigger at home.
Now you're speaking my language.
Yeah. All right. Wild game 3. I hope we get fireworks. I hope it's exciting. And I hope Jack
just shoves it. That's what
I'd like a close game, though. Jack shoves a close game.
Are we happy that pitchers aren't hitting? Have we talked about that?
Oh, my God, yes. I didn't think about it.
Isn't it amazing?
I didn't think about him having to.
Welcome, NL.
And like all the pitching changes that we're seeing in these games and how many players you'd have to burn and then how many bad hitters you have at the end of the game because you had to burn so many. And it's all like, imagine if this Padres Cards game, like there was like 3 bench batters in because they had to pinch hit for the pitcher. Such a bad brand of baseball that everyone loved for so long.
Can you imagine? Like, this is what I've hated, and now I don't have to hate anymore, at least this year, is I hate when they bring the jacket out to the pitcher on the bases. Please let me never see that again. You want an athlete, if you got to wear a jacket on the base pass. That is the most unathletic fucking look.
I've never started that for position players.
Trev, I've never thought about how pathetic that actually is.
Yeah.
It's so pathetic, dude.
I think pitchers did it as like a badge of like pride, but it's
kind of rubbing it in the other pitcher's face like, hey, because you somehow let me on base, I'm going to wear a winter coat.
I'm not supposed to even be here.
Yeah.
It's the worst look you can have on a baseball field. And as a pitcher, I don't know how I'd ever let that happen. If I was a pitcher, I'd be like, I'm not going to put the fucking jacket on. Unless we're talking, if it's like
cold. If it's cold, it's a little bit of a
cold.
flex. Yeah, like Minnesota in the
cold,
snow.
Though.
Yeah. All right.
Even then, though, come on. Just running in place.
Game 4, Dodgers, Brewers. Trev said it. Brewers had Ryan Healy as their DH because he had a good game against Kershaw like 5 years ago or something.
I love Ryan Healy, by the way.
I mean, he started 2 games all season, Trev. He got 7 at-bats all season. And he not only got the start in this game, but he was their 4-hole hitter as DH.
Yeah, Brewers fans don't want the DH. They're the only team.
Ryan Healy, Crespi High, thank you very much. Alumni, go Celts. Fun fact about Ryan Healy, Chad Pinder and I, we once had a very late night, early morning in New York together. We're just walking around the streets, 5 a.m., getting pizza. Excellent time. I'll never forget it.
Face.
But yes, Ryan Healy in the 4 spot in the playoffs for the Brewers is not what they imagined.
In an elimination game.
At the beginning of the year, yeah.
Against the best pitcher of our generation so far.
Yes. And how about that? Go Kirsch.
Go Kirsch. 8 innings, shutty, 13 strikeouts. And his stuff looked disgusting. And again, I think part of that credit does go to this Milwaukee lineup that isn't what it's supposed to be. And then the really fun moment is in the 7th inning. Kershaw walks a guy. His only walk of the game, and it's technically a 3-run game. They're a bloop and a blast away from making it a situation. The pitching coach starts shuffling around. They get the bullpen up. Kershaw gives a smile. He looks at the pitching coach, and he's like, no, you don't have to do this. He picks off the base runner at first, and then he strikes out the hitter, and he's out of the inning. It was an awesome performance by him. I think for Dodgers fans, I was kind of saying this yesterday, I don't think this means anything to them. From the couple we know, they were like, yeah, this game against the Brewers means nothing. And it's like, okay, they're going to have this edge until the World Series happens. Final big note for me, Clayton Kershaw's hot, and that needs to be discussed more.
Oh, huge disagree.
Like hot?
Like hot.
Like attractive?
Like the beard.
Whoa.
The hair. He's tall.
Hard disagree with.
He's
Hard
hot.
disagree.
No, it's just gotten overlooked and just gotten missed that you guys would have that reaction. It's kind of disgusting how overlooked that he's a good-looking guy.
The patchy beard is just not doing it for me. The Skechers shoes don't do it for me. The wallet.
That wallet does it for you.
The skill set. Yeah, if you were to just like take pictures of him,
That curveball, that slider.
It's a lot of auxiliary hotness. The actual
That hair. That hair. The way it flops.
Good hair.
He's hot.
I'll give him good hair. He's not hot, but he can pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say something mean that I checked the images and it's not there. Maybe it's just like the facial expressions. I'll say it. I always thought of him and Andrew Luck in the same elk of like goofy white dudes who kind of.
And that's the problem.
Their mouth like that. I know that's too mean. I checked the images. They're not
Andrew
there.
Luck is a very not good-looking person.
Yeah.
You know, this is the Dodgers just absolutely dominated this series. I mean,
This was nothing for the Dodgers.
Yeah,
I understand what you're saying, Jake, and we know some Dodgers fans that are saying the same thing. Like, and it's a little bit how I feel with the Yankees. Like, that was really exciting game 2, and I'm glad they flipped the switch. But I'm not going to go bragging about this to anyone.
No.
And that's why it was so weird that Carlos Correa bragged about it.
It's way different. You're not bragging about it, but they beat a good team. I mean, the Brewers were coming in limping. They were hurt. This was just like a bully.
It's good. They saw some things though. Like Jansen was good. Gratterall was good. Kershaw was good. They saw some things they needed to see. But yeah, then this is, you know, if it was a regular season, they wouldn't have had to even do this. They'd just go straight to the NLDS. So it's kind of like, okay, that was a waste. Let's get here. So reset. Now it matters a little more.
They're a juggernaut, dude.
Yeah.
There's not a weakness on that team.
You would have liked to see the bats go a little bit more. Again, the Brewers, their game plan was to ugly it up as much as they could, and they did. And kudos to Woodruff. He looked really good for a while. And then they get the fielder's choice behind them that I think could have been a double play. I'm forgetting exactly what happened. And then he actually got tossed from the game. I think him and the umps exchanged some words on his way off the bump. So, you know, kudos to Milwaukee muddying it up a little bit. I mean, the Brewers technically were in this game while also never being in this game.
Yeah. Are we done with this game? Because I have something that I missed in the Padres game I need to say.
I'm kind of good. Trev Mookie with another RBI double. His playoff numbers weren't full Mookie, and he can get them there.
I'll save what I have for the preview.
Pre-game.
Okay, here's what I missed. Jake, you said that, you know, one more note, Kershaw's cool or hot.
Handsome. He's hot.
He's not handsome.
He's hot. He's
Definitely
not
not
handsome.
handsome.
He's not handsome.
Definitely
He's
not
hot.
handsome. And he needs the beard to get him there. Yeah, it does nothing for me. That's more of an
That's
Andrew Luck.
hair. It's beard.
Hot, dude. Like,
That's like a.
I think it's more hot.
He's
than
got
handsome.
like a very like vibe to me.
I got a freakishly handsome from David Robinson. In
Anyway,
the chat. Wouldn't say that.
This has been said too much and too often, and I need to say it again.
Say it.
Tatis is the coolest person in professional sports right now.
Griffey.
I tweeted out pictures of him making that dumb throwing error where he threw the ball away, and he just looks so fucking cool. He just looks cool. Like, he should be on the face of every video game. He should be on the face of a lot of MLB posters. If you want to get the youth, he's the coolest guy I've ever seen.
he's
I
got
was watching that game. I was very high last night. I already told you guys that, but I was looking at him in the dugout. Just like, you know, walking in the dugout, someone just quote tweeted me because they were like, Tatis is so cool. People are tweeting out videos of him putting his helmet away. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was walking around like a badass, didn't talk to anyone, didn't say hi to anyone, just put his helmet away. And I was like, fuck, this guy's cool. Exudes cool.
He's got it all going. That's the it factor. That's like, I always used to have this discussion about Jeter and A-Rod. And I said, Jeter just is inherently like cool. Like, people just like think of him as cool, and A-Rod's not. And A-Rod really wants that.
A-Rod's really the least cool person. A-Rod's so uncool.
This guy he's it. He's got everything from the look, the hair. I love the pink, just the pink pop. So it's like other guys used to do the fluorescent yellow. He does the pink.
Yeah.
So he got a little bit of different swag to him. He knows how to wear a uniform. He's tall. How tall is he?
He's like, I think he's listed 6'4". He's long.
That helps in your coolness too. Like if you're tall, like, you're already cooler.
Well,
Don't
don't
have to
fucking
tell
rub
me.
it in, Trev.
Don't have to tell
I'm
me.
Listed
not
6'3".
tall. I'm just a regular person. But when you see a
Well-
guy that's 6'3" with swag, it's different than a guy that's 5'10" in swag. I'm just going to tell you that.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're
All right, this little
kind of missing out on little guy swag, which
Yeah,
you'll
flying
never
is
have.
Flying is so much easier for
Yeah,
us.
try sleeping on a
Little guy
camper.
swag is non-existent.
There's short king
Who do you
swag.
think was more comfortable on the RV at spring training?
Why do you think Tim Kirkagen's so
I have my
sexy?
own bed up there.
The only comp for the cool stuff is Griffey. I mean, the backwards hat when he was doing it, it was
I don't know.
cool.
I mean, Jeter was pretty cool. I got to give him to him. You know,
Jeter wasn't. What you're saying,
Jeter
like the
was
Jeter
very
A-Rod
cool.
thing before, was like the cool,
Jeter's really cool.
the
dude.
cool
You forgot how
athlete.
cool Jeter used
The
to
cool,
be.
Yeah.
the cool athlete in high school would be like A-Rod would be the guy that like pushes the loser into a locker and was like, "You guys think that was cool, right?" And Jeter's the guy that helps him pick up his books and was like, "No, we don't do that here."
You know Jeter's like list, right?
For
Like,
Jeter's
yeah.
generation, he fit what people wanted to see in cool as much as Tatis does this. It's two different generations. Like Jeter was wearing suits, he was clean shaven, and he was dating everyone, and you never knew about it. He was like, for his time, he was
I mean,
the
he had the
coolest.
Yankees boost. I mean,
Yeah,
I
Tatis doesn't even have that.
that's why I think the Griffey, the Mariners with the colors and the backwards hat, like we laugh because a backwards hat is nothing, but like when Griffey did a backwards hat, they're on a baseball field. I mean, heart attack season.
Okay, great.
love it.
Coolness talk at the end there. Needed it. We good, BBD? Got everything done we needed to get done. Let's go to the pregame show. If you are watching
Wait.
live, yeah,
Homer draft.
that's on the pregame
That's on
show.
the pregame show. Luckily,
Is it really?
yeah.
Yeah, this
I
is
want to
this
brag
is
a little bit.
this is the main show, the recaps. The pregame show has its own podcast. If you're not aware, it's also live for everyone all the time on all platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Periscope. This show is just for usually just live for patrons. Today's a special day because Patreon.com is down.
Went back up at 11:30.
Went back up. We just missed it. Whatever. We got a free show. Patrons, we will see just you guys on the next step. Love ya. Goodbye. Go the baseball.
Short guy energy.
Some people are saying I was really cool when I played too. A lot of people are saying that.
Thick.
Check sucks. You were like there's some videos of you, Trev, where you're running around a home run and you look like a bruiser. Not fat or like, you just look like a tough guy. You look like, I think that guy beats people up. Yeah.
What?
Lefties. Soft tossing lefties got beat up.
Second decade stadium, whatever. Not a big deal.
I've been there too, so.
Before the balls were